warm welcome to our exciting geography class. Hello students, this is Sister Flavia Fernandez, a trainee teacher from Arihant College of Education. Today, I am extremely happy and delighted to conduct this video lesson for you. I am also grateful to St. Joseph High School, Gorpuri for giving me this opportunity to conduct this lesson in your school. Students, we shall now watch a video. This video is divided into two parts. Please observe this video carefully because later I will ask you few questions based on this video. My question for you: which countries did you observe in this video? I'm sure the answer in your mind is Brazil and India. Am I right? That's right. Next question. What was this video related to? I will tell you. This video was related to climate of Brazil and India. You saw in this video different climatic conditions prevalent in these two countries. So today we shall study about Brazil's and India's climatic variations in our new geography lesson, that is climate. The objective of this lesson. In this lesson, we shall be studying about the meaning of climate, the heat zones in the world, the climatic conditions of Brazil, and the climatic conditions of India. Students, now answer my question. What is climate? I will tell you. Climate is defined as an area's long-term weather patterns. It describes a region's general weather patterns that happen over the course of many years. Now, before we study in detail about the climatic conditions of Brazil and India, we shall study about the heat zones in the world. This represents the globe. This is the equator This is the Tropic of Cancer and this is the Tropic of Capricorn. The regions between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn get maximum sun rays. So the heat is more in these regions. If you go away from the equator towards the North Pole and towards the South Pole, the temperature decreases. The region between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn is called as Torrid Zone or the Tropical Zone. Now look at this diagram. The sunlight strikes most directly towards the equator, so the heat is more in these regions. If you go away from the equator towards the North Pole and towards the South Pole, the temperature decreases. We come back to this diagram again. The countries which are located in the tropical zone experience greater heat than those which are situated in the North Temperate Zone and in the South Temperate Zone. For example, the half part of Brazil lies in the tropical zone and half part lies in the South Temperate Zone. So the states which lie in the tropical zone experience greater heat than those of the states which lie in the South Temperate Zone. So also for India, half part of India lies in the tropical zone and half part of India lies in the North Temperate Zone. So the states which lie in the tropical zone experience greater heat than those states which lie in the North Temperate Zone. Now look at this map of Brazil. These arrows denote the paths of monsoon winds. These are the northeast monsoon winds and these are the southeast monsoon winds. Sometimes monsoon winds are blocked by the mountainous ranges. So the regions from where monsoon winds arrive get maximum rainfall and the leeward side get less rainfall. So let us understand this better with the help of a diagram. So you see in this diagram, the winds are coming this side. So the direction from where the winds are coming will get more rainfall. And when the winds and the clouds have to cross the mountains, and the more higher they go, their moisture and carrying capacity decreases. So this area will get less rainfall. This area is known as rain shadow area or leeward side of the mountain. And this side of the mountain which gets more rainfall is known as windward side. So this type of phenomenon is prevalent both in India and in Brazil. Now observe this diagram carefully. This is the Great Escarpment, which is at a higher altitude, and the Brazilian highlands. Here the height decreases a little. As we go further in Paraguay, Parana Basin, the height decreases still further, and in Amazon Basin, the height decreases. But as you go further in Guyana Highlands, the height increases again. We come back to this part. When the southeast monsoon winds arrive over here, this area will receive good amount of rainfall. But when the winds and the clouds have to cross over the Great Escarpment, this becomes a barrier, and this in Brazilian highlands, this region will get less rainfall. But still further, in Paraguay Parana Basin, the rainfall increases again. And in Amazon Basin, because of the lower altitude, the rainfall is still greater. As you go further in Guyana Highlands, the rainfall will be less, because of the higher altitude. Now look at this again, a map of Brazil. Here you will find the Great Escarpment. Here you have the Amazon Basin, and here you will find the Andes Mountains. Now when the southeast winds arrive because of the Great Escarpment, this area receives less rainfall because of the barriers caused by the Great Escarpment. But when you go higher over here, when the northeast winds arrive, this area in the Amazon Basin, you will get good rainfall. Here also you will find the Amazon forest, which is known as the evergreen forest because of the good rainfall. Let's look at this map again. Here is the equator, and down below here you will find the Tropic of Capricorn and the South Temperate Zone. Here the temperature is very high, but as you go down, the temperature decreases. Now we shall look at study figure 401 and then later 402 and answer the following questions. The first question: considering the isotherms of Brazil, what is the average range of temperature in Brazil? Now look at these isotherms. Here you find 28 degrees Celsius, and as you come down over here, okay, you will find over here 18 degrees Celsius. So the answer is the average range of temperature in Brazil is 28 degrees Celsius to 18 degrees Celsius. The second question: in which area does it rain more? Look at this annual average rainfall scale. As the shades of blue getting darker, that area it shows it receives more rainfall. So this area is the Amazon River Basin. So the answer is in Amazon River basins, it receives more rainfall. Next, from which directions are winds flowing towards Brazil? Look at these arrows which show the direction of the wind. So the answer is the winds are flowing towards Brazil from northeast and southeast direction. We move on. What could be the reason behind that? Let us see the reason behind that. On the equator, there is a low pressure belt. So the air always passes from the high pressure towards the low pressure. Because of this reason, high pressure always moves towards the low pressure. Next, what could be the obstruction in the way of these winds? The Great Escarpment and the Brazilian highlands are causing the obstruction in the way of these winds. Next, which type of rainfall will occur because of these winds? Orographic type of rainfall will occur because of these winds. And you know what is orographic, which you have learnt it in your class 9. So I will not repeat it. Next, correlate these winds and rainfall. Look over here. Because of the Great Escarpment and Brazilian highlands, the winds carrying moisture, they get obstructed and they start to move higher. And the higher they move, their water molecules start condensing. And as they get heavier, they fall in the form of the rainfall. So you see over here, this place, it receives more rainfall. And this place over here receives less rainfall. This place is known as rain shadow area. Next, in which part of Brazil are the average temperatures low? Over here. You find over here 18 degrees Celsius. And what is over here? Over here you find the Paraguay-Parana basin. So the answer is in Paraguay basins, the average temperatures are low. So next, identify the rain shadow area in Brazil. Describe its climatic characteristics. In the northeast part of Brazilian highlands is the rain shadow area. So the Brazilian highlands, look over here, which is shown with the lighter shade of blue over here, receives less than 500 millimeters of rainfall, and the temperature is 23 degrees to 28 degrees Celsius. Next, in which region do you find a higher temperature? Look over here. It is near the equator we find higher temperature. Why? Because the rays of the sun are more perpendicular towards the equator. Next, considering the latitudinal extent of Brazil, where will you find temperate climate in Brazil? This is the equator, 0 degrees, and this is the Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees Celsius. Look at this diagram. This is Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north. This is Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. The climate which you find between these two tropics is known as tropical climate. And the climate which is above the Tropic of Cancer and below the Tropic of Capricorn is known as temperate climate. Describe the winds blowing between 0 degrees to 5 degrees north and south zones. Look over here. This is the equator, 0 degrees, and over here above is 5 degrees north. So 0 degrees to 5 degrees, the winds from the northeast are moving towards the equator, and 0 degrees to 5 degrees, the winds from the southeast are moving towards the equator. Next, which method has been used to show distribution in this map? Isopleth method is used to show the average temperature by using lines, which we have learnt about it in class 9. And also, choropleth method is used by using different shades of blue to show value and variations. It is also used to show the rainfall. Now we shall look at the different factors affecting the climate of India. This is the map of India, and the major part of India lies in the peninsular region. Here we see the Bay of Bengal, and here we have the Arabian Sea. But India receives rainfall from the southwest monsoon winds. These arrows denote the monsoon winds. Now, when these winds move or reach towards Kerala, they divide into two. Some winds travel towards the Arabian Sea, and some winds travel towards the Bay of Bengal. Now, in this region we find the Western Ghats. These Ghats act as barriers. As a result, this region gets heavy rainfall. The dark blue denotes the heavy rainfall. Look over here. So this region receives more than 4,000 millimeters of rainfall every year. Now we move towards the northeast part of India. You see over here, there are too many hills over here. They act as barriers. As a result, this region gets convectional rainfall. So, when the winds travel from the side, these mountains block them. But the leeward side of the mountains receive less rainfall because these mountains act as a barrier, and so this area receives less rainfall. Now look at Rajasthan. Rajasthan is a desert region. The monsoon winds traveling from this side get obstructed because of the Aravalli mountain ranges, and that's why Rajasthan receives less rainfall. The winds travel parallel to the Aravalli mountain and they do not enter the inside of the region of Rajasthan. Now look at this Maharashtra plateau, which receives less rainfall because this is the leeward side of the Sahyadri mountains. Now look at this model of Maharashtra. This is the Arabian Sea. These are the southwest monsoon winds which are coming into India. These winds carry along with them moisture-laden clouds. And as these clouds go up at a high altitude, their capacity to hold moisture decreases. As a result, this region receives more rainfall. But when these clouds have to cross over the Sahyadri hills, their capacity to hold moisture increases. As a result, the Maharashtra plateau receives less rainfall. So this region is known as rain shadow area. And as the clouds continue to move further, their capacity to hold moisture decreases. As a result, the lower lands in the east receives good rainfall. Let us look at the map again. From here, the Tropic of Cancer passes, and so our India is above the equator. The southernmost tip of India, that is the mainland India, is at 8 degrees 4 minutes north. So this is above the equator. The Tropic of Cancer is between the equator. So here the temperature is more. Why? Because the rays of the sun are more direct towards the equator. So this is the average temperature in the year, 26 degrees Celsius. As you go up, the temperature decreases, and so we have over here 20 or 23 degrees Celsius. Over here, where the Tropic of Cancer passes, the temperature is the maximum, very high. So we have seen below the Tropic of Cancer, the temperature is high, and above the Tropic of Cancer, the temperature is low. So this part falls in the torrid zone, and this part falls in the temperate zone. Observe figure 4.3 and write the answers. First question: which region gets more than 4,000 millimeters of rainfall? If you look at this rainfall scale, the darkest shade of blue shows you that this region gets more than 4,000 millimeters of rainfall. This symbol shows you greater. Now look at this place and this place. You have in these two regions the darkest shade of blue. So the answer is the south-western coast of India, and in the northeast of India, these regions get more than 4,000 millimeters of rainfall every year. Question 2. Identify the regions with maximum and minimum temperatures. The maximum temperatures you find over here, which is the Thar Desert, and over here, that is in the southern part of India, the Maharashtra Plateau. So you have 29, 29. And over here 20, the minimum, okay, you find in the Himalayan regions. Next, in which direction is the temperature increasing? Look at this, 20, 23, 26, 29. So the answer is the temperature is increasing towards the southwards of India. Why? Because the equator passes towards the south of India. Identify the direction of the winds shown. What are they known as? Look at these arrows. These arrows denote the southwest winds. So the winds are coming from the southwest and moving towards the northeast of India. So they are known as southwest monsoon winds. Next question. Which winds are responsible for the rainfall in India? The answer is the southwest monsoon winds are responsible for the rainfall in India. The last 3 questions. Some part of Rajasthan is under desert. What could be the reason for it? Look over here. In Rajasthan, there are Aravalli mountains. They are starting from the northeast and going towards the southwest direction. They are slightly slanted. So when the winds coming from this side, these mountains block these winds, and only this part of Rajasthan receives rainfall. And as the winds begin to move high and higher, they get dry. And so this portion of Rajasthan do not receive much rainfall. It is completely dry. Next, draw the main parallel of latitude passing through India which affects its climate. So it's over here. It is passing through the Tropic of Cancer. I repeat, over here, it is passing through the Tropic of Cancer. In which part of peninsular India are semi-arid climatic conditions found and why? Semi-arid means semi-dry. You can look over here. This is the Maharashtra Plateau. It is semi-arid. Why? Because the Western Ghats mountains over here, Sahyadri mountains, they block the winds, and so most of the rainfall is over here, and this part remains dry. So dear students, in this lesson today we have learned about the climatic conditions of Brazil and India. It is very important that we take care of our planet Earth. In these present times, we are experiencing changes in our climate. There are floods, droughts, storms, volcanoes because we have disturbed the cycle of nature. So let's maintain a good relationship with our planet Earth and protect the natural beauty and resources of our Mother Earth for the future generations. So today we have learned about the climate of Brazil and India in our geography lesson, that is climate. It's testing time. Dear students, let me see how much you have understood what I have taught you in this lesson. Down below, I have given you the link of the Google form. Dear students, please go to this link and complete the exercises given in this link and submit the form at your earliest. Thank you for your cooperation. We cannot miss the homework. And the homework for this lesson is, you have to find out why Cherrapunji and Mawsynram receive more than 11,000 millimeters of rainfall, and Shillong, located very near to these places, receives only 1,000 millimeters of rainfall. What could be the reason? Thank you very much, dear students. I truly appreciate your patience and your listening ear. Hope you had a wonderful time learning about climate in our geography lesson, Climate.